Imagine a world where you never have to pay $4 for a single puny, wax-covered apple ever again. Imagine walking out to your porch in your slippers, reaching into a lush canopy of green, and pulling down a piece of fruit so sun-warmed and sweet it puts anything in the supermarket to absolute shame. For most of us, we've been told that an orchard requires acres of land, a heavy tractor, and a back that doesn't ache after 10 minutes of weeding. We've been led to believe that food security is something you buy at the store rather than something you grow in a simple 5-gallon bucket. But that is one of the biggest myths of modern life. Our grandparents didn't need a farm to stay fed. They knew the secrets of the lazy harvest and the forgotten wisdom of growing in small, manageable spaces. Today, I'm going to show you how to reclaim that independence, saving you thousands of dollars while protecting your health with the cleanest food possible. Before we dive into these 10 life-changing trees, I want to hear from you. Tell me in the comments below, where in the world are you watching from? And what is the one fruit you've always dreamed of picking from your own garden? Knowing your climate helps me give better advice in future videos. By the time we finish today, you'll know exactly which 10 trees can thrive in a pot anywhere, from a snowy apartment balcony to a sun-scorched patio. I'll show you the once-and-done method that's perfect for seniors or anyone who wants a garden that works for them, rather than the other way around. And stick around until the very end, because I am going to reveal one miracle tree that was once used to save entire Mediterranean villages from starvation, and it grows faster in a container than almost anything else on this list. We are living through a time of incredible fragility. You've seen it at the checkout counter. The prices of fresh produce have skyrocketed, and the quality seems to be heading in the opposite direction. Most of the fruit you buy today has traveled an average of 1,500 miles, picked green and hard, then gassed with ethylene just to look ripe on the shelf. It's a system designed for profit, not for your nutrition or your security. For those of us who are getting a little older, the idea of tilling a massive backyard garden is exhausting just to think about. We want the reward without the war against the soil. This is why container gardening isn't just a hobby, it's a survival strategy. It allows you to control the soil, the water, and most importantly, it brings the food to your level, so there's no bending, no kneeling, and no heavy lifting required. I remember my grandmother telling me stories about the Victory Gardens of the 1940s. She didn't have a lot of space, but she had an old wooden crate where she grew a dwarf citrus tree that provided enough vitamin C for the whole family during the winter months. She called it her pantry on a trunk. She understood something we've forgotten. A tree in a pot is an insurance policy. If you move, the garden moves with you. If a frost is coming, you simply wheel it inside. In a moment, I am going to show you a specific variety of tree that is so hardy it can survive a deep freeze and still produce fruit that stores on a shelf for 6 months without ever rotting. But first, let's look at why your choice of container is the first step toward a harvest that lasts for decades. The first tree on our list is one that truly defines the plant once harvest forever philosophy, the ever-bearing mulberry. Now, if you grew up near a wild mulberry, you probably remember the giant, messy trees that stained the sidewalks and grew 30 feet tall. But for the pot gardener and the food security-minded senior, the dwarf variety is a total game changer. These trees are incredibly resilient. They are the weeds of the fruit world because they simply refuse to die. You can keep a dwarf mulberry in a large pot, and it will stay a manageable 6 feet tall, yet it will produce clusters of sweet, blackberry-like fruits for months on end. They are packed with antioxidants and vitamin C, and unlike store-bought berries that mold in 3 days, these are right outside your door, ready to be picked as you need them. For the lazy gardener, the mulberry is a dream. It isn't picky about soil, and it's remarkably pest-resistant. You just need a well-draining potting mix and a sunny spot. Because these trees fruit on new growth, you can prune them back heavily every winter to keep them the size of a coat rack, and they will still reward you with a massive harvest in the spring. In many ancient cultures, the mulberry was revered as the tree of life because every part, from the fruit to the medicinal leaves, had a use. In a survival situation, the leaves of certain varieties are even edible when cooked. It's a silent guardian for your patio, providing food security with almost zero effort. Just be sure to choose a fruitful variety, as some ornamental mulberries are male and won't give you that delicious harvest you're looking for. Next, we have to talk about the Meyer lemon. If there is one tree that pays for itself in the first year, this is it. In the supermarket, organic lemons can cost $1 each, but a single potted Meyer lemon can produce dozens, even hundreds, of fruits once it's established. This isn't your typical grocery store lemon. It's actually a cross between a lemon and a mandarin orange. This means the skin is thinner, the juice is sweeter, and the fragrance of the blossoms alone is enough to turn your patio into a spa. For seniors, the beauty of the Meyer lemon is its portability. Since citrus can be sensitive to hard freezes, growing them in pots allows you to bring them into a sunny kitchen or garage when the temperature drops, ensuring your vitamin factory stays productive year-round. To get the most out of your potted lemon, remember that citrus are heavy feeders. They like a bit of organic fertilizer every few months to keep those leaves dark green and the fruit coming. But here's the lazy trick. You don't need to be an expert pruner. Just let it grow into a natural bush shape. The most important thing is the water. Citrus hate wet feet, so make sure your pot has plenty of holes and use a handful of wood chips on top to keep the moisture even. Imagine, during a winter flu season, having an endless supply of fresh, organic lemon juice for teas and tonics without ever having to put on a coat and drive to the store. It's a level of independence that feels incredible. Stick with me, because next, we're going to discuss a tree that thrives on neglect. Literally, the more you ignore it, the better it performs. If this is helping you plan your own survival garden, tap like so more people can see it. That tree I just mentioned, the one that actually thrives on a bit of healthy neglect, is the fig. Specifically, look for varieties like the brown turkey or Chicago hardy. Figs are the ultimate famine food of the ancient world. They are unique because they don't have visible flowers. The fruit is actually an inverted flower, and they are incredibly calorie-dense. In ancient Greece, figs were so vital to the food supply that exporting the best ones was sometimes considered a crime. For a container gardener, the fig is a secret weapon. Why? Because figs actually like having their roots slightly crowded. When you put a fig tree in a pot, it signals to the plant that it can't grow into a giant, so it puts all its energy into producing fruit instead of wood. For someone who doesn't want to spend their weekends digging and hauling, the fig is remarkably low maintenance. They are drought-tolerant once established, meaning if you forget to water them for a couple of days, they won't just keel over and die like a fussy peach tree might. If you live in a colder climate, the Chicago hardy can dive back to the soil line in a freeze and then sprout right back from the roots in the spring to give you fruit by late summer. They are a plant once harvest forever staple. There's an old saying that the best time to plant a fig tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. They are a gift to your future self, providing a harvest so sweet and jam-like that you'll wonder why anyone bothers with store-bought candy. Now, let us move to something that feels a bit more exotic, but is surprisingly easy: the dwarf pomegranate. These are not the massive trees you see in commercial orchards. These are compact, ornamental-looking shrubs that fit perfectly in a whiskey barrel or a large ceramic pot. Pomegranates have been prized for thousands of years as symbols of fertility and health, and for good reason. They are packed with some of the highest concentrations of antioxidants found in any fruit. For a senior gardener, pomegranates are wonderful because they are naturally pest-resistant. Most bugs simply don't like the tough, leathery skin of the fruit. This means no spraying nasty chemicals and no constant monitoring for aphids. Planting a pomegranate is a lesson in patience that pays off in food security. They love the heat, so if you have a sunny driveway or a south-facing balcony, they will be very happy. They are lazy in the best way. They don't require fancy pruning to produce. Just let them do their thing. The beauty of the pomegranate is its shelf life. Because of that thick skin, the fruit can sit on a cool counter for weeks or in a cellar for months without spoiling. This was the long storage fruit of our ancestors before refrigeration existed. In a moment, I'm going to talk about a fruit that most people think only grows in the tropics, but there is a special bush version that can survive a frost and produce fruit that tastes like a mix of pineapple and strawberry. The fruit I'm talking about is the pineapple guava, also known as feijoa. Don't let the name fool you. This isn't a tropical prima donna that wilts at the first sign of a breeze. It is one of the hardiest, most versatile edible landscape plants you can put in a pot. It's an evergreen, so it stays beautiful and green even in the dead of winter, providing a bit of privacy for your patio. But the real magic happens in the spring. The flowers are stunning, bright red and white. And here is the expert secret. The petals are actually edible. They taste like spicy marshmallows. You can pick the petals for your salads without even harming the fruit production. It's like getting 2 harvests for the price of 1. For the gardener who wants to save money and effort, the feijoa is a powerhouse. It is remarkably salt-tolerant, making it perfect if you live near the coast, and it rarely suffers from diseases. The fruit itself drops to the ground when it's ripe, which is the ultimate lazy harvest. You don't even have to pick it. Just pick them up off the top of the soil in your pot. They are high in iodine and vitamin C, and they have a flavor that is simply impossible to find in a store because they don't ship well. This is a fruit you can only truly enjoy if you grow it yourself. It's a forgotten gem that provides a taste of the exotic while being as tough as a common hedge. Next on our list is the dwarf olive. Now, you might think of olives as massive, ancient trees in the hills of Italy, but certain dwarf varieties like the little ollie or the arbequina are perfectly suited for life in a large container. Olives are the definition of ancient wisdom. These trees can live for 1,000 years, and while your potted version might not reach a millennium, it will certainly outlast any plastic potted annual from the garden center. They are extremely drought tolerant. In fact, the quickest way to kill an olive is to care for it too much by overwatering. For someone who wants food security without a daily chore list, this is your tree. Growing your own olives gives you access to one of the healthiest fats on the planet. Even if you don't have a press to make oil, curing your own olives in a simple brine of salt and water is a traditional skill that is incredibly rewarding. There is something deeply grounding about eating an olive from a tree that you have nurtured on your own porch. It connects you to a lineage of gardeners that stretches back to the dawn of civilization. Just remember, olives love drainage. Use a pot with plenty of rocks at the bottom and a sandy soil mix. Stick with me, because we are approaching our final selections, including a miracle tree that produces a staple food which can actually replace flour in your kitchen. We cannot talk about food security without mentioning the dwarf apple and the dwarf pear. For years, people avoided growing these in pots because they thought they needed a second tree for pollination or cross-pollination. But modern gardening has a lazy solution, the self-fertile or multigraft tree. You can now buy a single columnar apple tree that grows straight up like a pillar, taking up no more than 2 feet of horizontal space. These are perfect for narrow balconies or lining a walkway. They don't branch out wide, so there's no complicated pruning to learn. You just let them reach for the sky, and they'll deck themselves in fruit from top to bottom. The beauty of the apple and pear for the senior gardener is the reach. Since these trees stay small in pots, you'll never need a ladder. Everything is at chest height. Pears, specifically the conference or Anjou dwarf varieties, are incredibly hardy and can handle heavy soil better than most fruit trees. Historically, during times of hardship, dried apples and pears were the primary source of sugar and energy for families throughout the winter. By growing these in pots, you aren't just growing a snack, you're growing a storable resource. If you have a garage or a basement that stays cool, these fruits can last for months. In a moment, I am going to reveal that final miracle tree I promised, the one that can truly stand between a family and hunger. The final tree on our list, the one that saved Mediterranean villages during the leanest years, is the carob tree. While it can grow large in the ground, in a large pot, it stays a manageable, beautiful evergreen shrub. Carob is often called black gold because the pods it produces are naturally sweet, high in calcium, and can be ground into a powder that replaces cocoa or even mixed with flour. It is perhaps the most survival-ready tree on this list because the pods are naturally dry and can be stored for years without any special equipment. It is a forgotten wisdom tree that our ancestors prized for its ability to produce food in the poorest soils with almost no water. It is the ultimate insurance policy for your patio. If you forget everything else we've talked about today, remember this: the best garden is the one that fits your life right now. You don't need to till the earth or break your back to be self-sufficient. Start small. Pick just one of these trees, maybe a Meyer lemon or a dwarf fig, and put it in a pot this week. That one small step is a vote for your own independence and a gift to your future self. If you found this helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to join our community of resilient gardeners. I want to hear from you. Which one of these 10 trees are you going to plant first, and what country are you watching from? Comment below and let me know. And if you want to see a deep dive into the medicinal weeds that are probably growing in your lawn right now, comment the word medicinal, and I'll make that video next. Thanks for watching, and remember, the best time to plant was yesterday, but the second best time is today.